Hi there and welcome to our latest YouTube in-depth training. And in this video, we're going to be talking about how to do niche market research, right? Specifically using Amazon and Clickbank, using methods that you may or may not have thought about before. But furthermore, what we're going to do is we're actually going to verify the validity of that particular niche market to see if it is actually worthwhile getting into. Now, I will preface it before we actually get into it, just to explain a little bit further, okay? But let's dive into the how to do niche market research using Amazon. Okay, so when it comes to Amazon, Amazon.com is a e-commerce website, which means that they sell products, right? Digital products specifically, physical products, sorry. And so what they've actually done is they've mastered what it is like what's a market, what's a niche market, what's a micro market, and we will go into that sort of stuff here. More importantly, they've figured out like what is actually profitable and what isn't. Just like a magazine with their headlines and the pictures that they use, none of that stuff is a mistake. They spend thousands and thousands and I'm talking like hundreds of thousands of dollars to figure these things out, like what's the best product to put on front to make sure that we get a product. Like all of these products here, they're all here for a reason, and the reason they're here is because that they produce the most money at that particular time for this particular website visitor, right? So everything is optimized per se. Obviously, there are still things that they're learning. That's part of the entrepreneurial game. But I'm here to tell you that there's a reason why stuff is in the places that they are in, right? So, with that being said, how to do niche market research with Amazon. So the first thing we want to do is we want to hover over departments, and you see departments are actually these are actually all different types of markets, if you will. Okay, so if you look here, like books, movies, music, games, electronics, they're all kind of different markets, if you will. In other words, they're quite big, and unless you're going to put hundreds of thousands of dollars into the product, you're almost essentially wasting your time going after it initially. What you really want to do is you want to get into a niche market, right? Which is why we're learning how to do niche market research, or at least that's what I'm hoping anyways, while you're here. So what you can do is you can just hover over these different areas here, see, and it'll actually bring up different niches, right? So say for example, books, children's books, books, magazines, textbooks, textbook rentals, sell us your books, prime student. These are all different niche markets. These are markets, right? These departments, these are markets. Everything that comes under them, those are niche markets, okay? So what you want to do is you really want to dive into this. Say, for example, you are in fact interested in books, right? And you look in here and you're looking at going, yeah, children's books would be quite interesting to get involved in. Click on that, okay? Now, first and foremost, you've actually already got your niche right there. That's your niche. Children's books, right? But then you might get into it, you might do your research, for example, and you might think, well, that's just a little bit too competitive at this point. I actually want to dive a little bit deeper. Okay, so when you click on that, it actually brings up all the micro niches on the side over here. The actual micro niches are where they make it even more in depth, right? So people that come to this page, they want to look at one of these four categories, and Amazon has already broken it down for them so that, hey, I've actually got a child who's 7 years old, so I'm going to click over here, right? It's the work is already done for them, and this is a micro niche, a niche within a niche already. Okay, so the niche, the market itself is, let's get back here, books, right? And then the micro niche is, the niche is the children's book. And then the micro niche are these here: baby to two, through ages 3 to 5, ages 6 to 8, ages 9 to 12. It's broken down even further, right? So that's how you go about picking a niche using Amazon. Okay, and here's the thing: anything with Amazon or Clickbank, if they've already got a what's it called, a market and a niche and then a micro niche, the reason they've done it is because it is in fact profitable. If it's not profitable, it wouldn't be here. I mean, think about it, guys. This Amazon this website generates multi millions every single year. Might even be in the hundreds of millions. But here's the thing. So they've only got a few things that they've got listed down here. Do you really think that they would put something there that isn't making a crap ton of money, right? And then do you think that they wouldn't break it down so as not to make even more money? Of course they would. They're trying to make the experience as pleasant as possible for their customer so that they can extract as much money as possible, right? So if it's here, if you're seeing already some ideas like a niche market that you're like, yep, that's what I wanted to do, so that kind of verifies it, then great. Okay, we will. You can go to the description box below and click and jump Clickbank. Way of doing niche market research if you want, and go straight to the Google part because that's where we can verify things, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay. All right, so in this video, we're going to learn how to do niche market research using Clickbank. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to go to the affiliate marketplace and you want to click on that tab. So what you've got lined up over here are actually different markets. So if you see something that you may or may not be interested in, you'll need to realize initially that it is a market, and unless you're willing to put in years and years of work and tons and tons of money, you're not going to be very successful at it. Frankly, I mean, if you've got years of coding experience and making money online experience, then sure you can go after it, obviously, but you wouldn't be watching this video if you were, right? You'd be out there. So for those of you who are new, who are still trying to learn this process, I'm telling you that these things right here, they're too in depth. Okay, like so for example, if you want to get into self help, it's too big of a it's too broad. It's a market, right? You don't want to dive straight into that. You do want to click on it and you want to dive into it and you want to find out what you may or may not want to get involved in. So for example, his secret obsession could be one. Cold traffic monster. That doesn't sound like self help actually. Manifestation miracle. There you go. Text your ex back. Tesla code secrets. So here's the thing, guys. All of these are all niches, right? In fact, some of them are even micro niches because they're so drilled into what it is that they actually are. So you really want to kind of break down what it is that you're getting involved in, and you need to be able to pick carefully, right? Like you don't want to just go after self-help. You want to focus on personal transformation or personal development. Do you want to focus on conscious, subconscious? Do you want to focus on psychology or mindset, right? Like there's so many different things. Yes, they're all interrelated. They're all involved with each other. But what I'm trying to say is that to really figure out like that this is actually something that's worth going after, you really do need to figure these things out. And here's the other thing. How do you verify that that niche is actually big enough? Because there are some niches on Clickbank that really just aren't big enough, right? And so the way you go about doing it is checking the gravity. If you've got a lot of people that are referring to it and making money, then that's a really good sign that it's a profitable niche, right? Because obviously, if it wasn't very profitable, that there may be 5 to 10 people, for example, that are doing it. But if there are like 20, 30, 40 plus, then there's a good chance that that's a profitable niche, okay? Because a lot of people are referring to it and it's making sales and making money and so on. Okay, so let's just look at one example here. Just picking one off the first thing I see, the X Factor Guide, the number one X back product on Clickbank, which is viewable on mobile. The average sale is $48.51 commission, right? The average rebill total is $115.70. So 48.51 rebill. It could be an average rebill of once, right? And the gravity, look, here's the gravity, guys. Over 70 people have referred in the last 30 days and successfully made a sale from this specific product. Okay, so obviously, the getting your X back is a big niche, right? It's something that people really want to go after, and it's confirmed as well by seeing the fact that there's multiple products in this niche. The X Factor Guide, right? Text your ex back. The women men adore, right? Like there's obviously a lot of money in that sort of stuff. Unlock her legs. that's that's a little rude, but anyway. So look, what I'm trying to get across to you is that these are different ways of verifying, right? So you verify with Amazon when you find that a niche is already created, it means it's profitable. If they haven't created it, then in that particular space, then that's probably not a profitable enough niche, especially for something like big as theirs. However, with ClickBank, you can check through the gravity, right? Look, over 80 people made sales here. His secret obsession. Over 127 here. The lost ways, right? So there's obviously different ways. See, and here's another way of doing it, guys. So the gravity obviously actually proves that it's a profitable enough thing, right? That's a way of proving it, right? But in order to confirm that it is in fact a niche, here's all your listings right here, right? And this is what I was looking for. So you can see self-help is the market, right? And then these here are the niches: abuse, dating guides, eating disorders, general. Marriage and relationships, motivational, transformational. So let's say, for example, I wanted to go into personal finance, right? So self-help is my market, personal finance is my niche, and I want to see how popular it is. Not popular, sorry. How many people are actually making money from this thing? Because we want to see whether it's actually worth checking out or not. So we want to click on gravity. It's going to sort it from high to low. And here it is. Credit Repair Magic now pays $50.45 per sale. So and there are over 10 people that are making money from this particular niche. Now, I know I mentioned earlier 5 to 10 probably means that there isn't enough money on it. But here's the thing. This is the number one referrer in this particular niche, right? Which to me means that, hey, that's actually the kind of the gold standard in this particular market, and that's what it needs to be going for. See, the next one is 5.26, 3.12. So you've got to understand the market in which you're in. Like we were looking, there are a lot of examples before on about the dealing with the X thing, but I understand that there are a lot of people that are dealing with breakups, but there aren't a lot of people dealing with personal finance. So you got to understand how it relates to what it is that you actually want to get involved in and check out and try and figure out if the numbers actually make sense to you and what it is that you want to get into. Okay, so now you know how to do niche market research with Amazon. Now you know how to do niche market research with Clickbank, and you want to go to another way to verify what it is that you're actually looking at. Okay, so we obviously know, like I mentioned earlier on, that with Amazon, if they've got it, then it's a niche and it's a profitable niche. If with Clickbank, you need to check the gravity to make sure it's a profitable niche. Okay, but here's another way of doing it. You want to go to Google and you want to check it out there. So let's say, for example, we type in personal finance. And so what we've got here, guys, okay, so we've got pages here, right? And obviously that's cool. That those are the people that are ranking for what it is that they're doing. However, here's the promising sign. There are two ads right at the top. Yeah, that means that people are advertising, which means that they're actually making money. Now, am I saying that these particular products are making money? No, because we all know that businesses, that 95% or something crazy, like 95 plus percent of businesses are done within the first year, right? Or the first 2 years, I think it is. So what I'm trying to say though is if a company is willing to spend money, it means that there is a lot of money to be made. Okay. Whether they make money or not depends on their copy, the product that they're offering, where they're leading people to, how they treat them when they get them, right? There are a lot more factors involved. But there's a promising thing. If there are no ads, right, then you have to worry. You have to either look at it and think, does Google have terms against advertising for this product? Which means, again, I'll break that down into two things as well. Number one, does that if they do in fact have those terms, does that mean I can scale the niche in which I want to get involved in? Because you don't want to just a little mom and pop store. You don't want to make $500 to $800 a week. You want to make thousands. Okay, the way to do that is through advertising when you get the money eventually, not immediately, but eventually, once you dial everything in. And so if money can't be spent to scale your business, then how big can you really grow it, right? What are Google's terms that are disallowing you from advertising? So if we say, for example, if there are two ads, that's great. If there are more ads down here, then that's even more confirmation. Okay, so let's check out how to play piano for beginners, and let's just see what comes up. Okay, so here we go. There are no ads here, but there is an ad here. Okay, sponsored. See, so that's a good sign that there is money to be made in this niche, and that people are actually spending money because they want to make money, right? But here's the reason why this one doesn't, because I mean, this is a very specific term: how to play piano for beginners. Businesses know that people who want to learn how to play piano as beginners, money can't really be made because there are so many of these around. Websites and blog posts and training videos on YouTube that are really, really helpful with that stuff that So there's no real need for them to go creating a product on how to teach beginners how to make money, because it can be done through like three free methods like blogging and YouTube, right? So but there were ads obviously on personal finance. How about what were we looking at before? Bring your X back. Getting back, right? See, I don't see any ads. And the reason that would be, guys, is because there isn't enough money to advertise and make the money. Like I believe one of the ebooks that we were looking at, or the e-courses, or whatever it was like $54 profit. What the companies have figured out is that they would have to spend more than $54 in order to make a sale, in order to get a customer. So it's really just not worth it. They would just rather have affiliates that have probably blogs and vlogs and stuff like that, social media accounts that are actually going to help them make money. Does that make sense? So what I'm trying to say is that you need to be careful with what you get involved in. Like here's something that I was involved with once. Sports betting, right? And I made money. But here was the thing. Back then when I was heavily involved with it, you couldn't advertise like this. You weren't allowed to advertise and say that, hey, look, I've actually got a sports betting product. You should check it out, right? So obviously things have changed now. But back then, and had I realized that, that would have saved me years of work, because I put in a lot of work thinking that, yep, it was a profitable niche, only to find out that it wasn't. Right. So I hope that makes sense, guys. Anyways, so look, this video has gone on a little bit longer than I was planning on it doing so, but I appreciate you staying all the way to the end here. If you like these in-depth trainings that I'm putting together for entrepreneurs, business owners, and online marketers is specifically really going to benefit from my account, go ahead and subscribe. And more importantly, subscribe to my YouTube channel and subscribe to my email marketing list, so that you and I can get to know each other a lot better, right? I will give you my exact PDF guide on how I go about doing this research, so you can check it out for yourself. You can revert to this come back to this video anytime you want, but you've also got the guide available at your hands so that you can review everything that you've learned. All right. So thank you again for watching this video. Remember, again, please give me a like if you like this video, and subscribe to my channel and my email marketing list, and I'll give you some really, really cool stuff moving forward. And I hope that one day you and I can do business. Take care. Much love. And I will talk to you again soon.